There are people who walk among us who carry a special kind of wisdom. It isn't loud. It doesn't demand attention. It's a quiet, steady presence. This is the heart of the librarian. She is a guide, a keeper of stories, and a holder of space for anyone who feels a little lost. Her wisdom doesn't just come from the endless rows of books she tends to. It comes from a deep well of intuition. It's a knowing that lives in her bones. She listens more than she speaks. She observes with a gentle curiosity. She understands that every person who walks through her door is a living story, full of unwritten chapters, complicated plots, and the universal longing to be seen and understood. This knowing is a natural gift. It's something she was born with. Long before she learned to categorize information or recommend the perfect novel, she knew how to read people. She could sense the unspoken questions hanging in the air. She could feel the weight of a worry someone carried on their shoulders. Her superpower is her ability to connect with the very human part of us that seeks answers. She doesn't offer quick fixes or easy solutions. Instead, she offers something far more powerful, a safe place to ask the hard questions. She provides the tools, the stories, and the silence needed for us to find our own way forward. Her presence is a quiet permission slip to be exactly where we are, with all our uncertainty and all our hope. When you are in her presence, you feel a sense of calm. The frantic energy of the outside world seems to fade away. She has a way of slowing down time. She reminds us that we don't have to have it all figured out right now. She helps us see that the journey of finding answers is just as important as the answers themselves. Her wisdom is not about having all the knowledge. It is about holding space for the mystery of it all. It's about being a steady anchor in a world that often feels like a storm. She shows us that true strength isn't about being impenetrable. It's about being a soft place to land. Her work is an act of service, rooted in a profound empathy for the human condition. She knows that we are all just trying to find our way home to ourselves. She sees the courage it takes to admit we don't know something. She honors the vulnerability of asking for help. In a culture that often celebrates speed and certainty, the librarian stands as a testament to the power of patience, reflection, and the slow, beautiful unfolding of our own inner wisdom. She doesn't just hand you a book, she hands you a key to a door within yourself that you might not have even known was there, waiting to be opened. The library is more than just a building filled with books. For the librarian, it is a sanctuary. It is a space intentionally crafted to be a refuge from the noise and chaos of the world. Every detail is considered. The soft lighting, the comfortable chairs, the quiet corners where one can think without interruption, it is all part of her design. This space is a physical manifestation of her own inner world, ordered, calm, and full of treasures waiting to be discovered. She understands that our environment has a profound impact on our ability to learn, to heal, and to connect with ourselves. She believes that a beautiful and comforting space can be a form of care. Her knowledge of the collection is vast and deep, like an ocean. She knows the stories held within each volume, not just the plots, but the emotional currents that run through them. She knows which book can offer comfort after a loss, which one can spark a new passion, and which one can provide the practical steps to start a new venture. Her connection to these books is personal. They are not just objects, they are trusted friends and wise mentors. She has spent countless hours with them, absorbing their lessons, their warnings, and their celebrations of the human spirit. This intimate knowledge allows her to be a matchmaker, connecting the right person with the right story at the right time. This place she curates is a testament to her belief that knowledge should be accessible to everyone. It is a fundamentally democratic space. Here, it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, or what you believe. All are welcome to come and learn, to dream, and to simply be. The library stands as a powerful symbol of community and shared humanity. It is a place where a child can discover a love for reading that will last a lifetime, and where an elder can find connection and purpose. The librarian is the guardian of this sacred contract, ensuring that the doors remain open and the welcome remains warm for all who seek it. Creating this sanctuary is her life's work. It is a daily practice of tending to both the physical space and the emotional atmosphere. She straightens the books on the shelves with the same care she uses to listen to a patron's story. She waters the plants with the same attention she gives to a difficult research question. For her, it is all connected. The outer world of the library reflects the inner world she hopes to nurture in others, a place of peace, order, and boundless possibility. It is a space where souls can feel safe enough to be still, to breathe, and to hear the whisper of their own inner voice. People come to the librarian for more than just reading recommendations. They come to her seeking a compass for life. They arrive with tangled problems and heavy hearts, looking for a way through the fog. A young artist struggling with creative block, a new parent feeling overwhelmed, a professional facing a career crossroads, they all find their way to her desk. She knows that often, the question they ask is not the real question. The request for a book on time management might really be a cry for help with feeling overwhelmed and out of control. She has a rare ability to hear the question behind the question. Her guidance is gentle and empowering. She never tells people what to do. Instead, she asks powerful questions that help them uncover their own answers. What does enough look like for you? She might ask the person feeling inadequate. Or, what would it feel like to give yourself permission to rest? To the one who is burnt out. She then points them toward resources. But these resources are often more than just books. She might suggest a local community group, a podcast, or even just a walk in the nearby park. She sees the library as a hub connecting people not just to information, but to experiences and to each other. Her wisdom is a beautiful blend of the ancient and the modern. She can quote a Stoic philosopher to soothe an anxious mind, and in the next breath, recommend a YouTube tutorial on how to fix a leaky faucet. She understands that wisdom is not confined to dusty tomes. It is alive and evolving. It can be found in a conversation with a neighbor, in a work of art, or in the trial and error of learning a new skill. She honors all forms of knowledge and encourages others to do the same. She helps people see that they are surrounded by resources, if only they have the eyes to see them. Ultimately, the librarian teaches us how to become our own guides. She models a way of being in the world that is curious, resourceful, and compassionate. By showing us how to find and use tools for ourselves, she fosters a sense of agency and self-reliance. The greatest gift she gives is not a specific answer, but the confidence to navigate our own lives. She helps us build our own internal library of experiences, insights, and strengths. She reminds us that the most important stories are the ones we live, and that we are the authors of our own journey. For the librarian, beauty is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It is a form of communication. It is the first word in a conversation that says, "You are welcome here, you are valued." She pours her love for aesthetics into every corner of her space. It's in the carefully chosen color palette on the walls, a soft, calming blue that quiets the mind. It's in the texture of the worn leather chairs that invite you to sink in and stay a while. It's in the fresh flowers she places on the main desk each morning, a small, vibrant celebration of life. These details are not frivolous. They are intentional acts of creating a space that feels like a hug. Her sense of design goes beyond just making things look pretty. It is about creating flow and function. She understands how people move through a space, and she arranges the furniture to create both open, collaborative areas and private, secluded nooks. She wants everyone to be able to find a spot that feels right for them. The placement of a lamp, the height of a shelf, the softness of a rug, all of these elements are thoughtfully considered to enhance the experience of being in the library. Her taste is impeccable, but it is never intimidating. It is a warm, accessible beauty that makes people feel at home. This appreciation for beauty extends to the books themselves. She loves the art of bookbinding, the feel of quality paper, and the elegance of a well-designed cover. She will often create displays that are not just organized by subject, but by color or theme, turning the book collections into works of art. She wants people to fall in love with books as objects, to appreciate the craftsmanship and care that goes into creating them. She believes that when we surround ourselves with beautiful, well-made things, it elevates our own spirit and inspires us to bring more care and intention into our own lives. Her keen eye for beauty is really a deep appreciation for humanity. She sees the artistry in a well-told story, the design in a logical argument, and the elegance in a mathematical formula. Beauty for her is another word for truth. It is the harmony that exists when something is just right. By filling her library with this harmony, she creates a space that not only welcomes people, but also nourishes their souls. She shows us that paying attention to beauty is a way of paying attention to life itself. It is a practice of gratitude and a celebration of the good things in the world. The librarian's wisdom is not static. It's actually a living, breathing thing that requires, constant nourishment. To keep her knowledge fresh and relevant, she has this deeply ingrained habit of exploration. She's endlessly curious. She reads voraciously, not just within her favorite genres, but far outside her comfort zone. She tackles dense scientific journals, experimental poetry, and technical manuals with the same open mind. She knows that wisdom can be found in the most unexpected places, and she's brave enough to venture into unfamiliar territory to find it. This commitment to lifelong learning is really the engine that drives her ability to help others. But her exploration isn't limited to books. She is, in every sense, a student of life. She attends workshops on topics she knows nothing about, from coding to pottery. She listens to podcasts on economics and astrophysics. She strikes up conversations with strangers and listens, truly listens, to their stories and perspectives. She understands that the world is a vast and complex place, and she approaches it with a humble desire to understand. She's not afraid to say, "I don't know, but let's find out together." This vulnerability is honestly one of her greatest strengths. It makes her approachable and trustworthy. This practice of continuous learning is her antidote to rigidity. She has seen how easy it is for knowledge to become dogma, for expertise to become arrogance. By constantly exposing herself to new ideas, she keeps her mind flexible and her heart open. She's willing to have her own beliefs challenged and her perspective shifted. This intellectual humility is what allows her to connect with people from all walks of life. She doesn't see the world in black and white. She sees it in a million shades of grey, and she's totally comfortable navigating that complexity. Her courage to explore the unknown is a quiet form of leadership. She models for her community what it means to be a lifelong learner. She shows them that it's okay not to have all the answers, and that the real adventure lies in the search. Her own journey of discovery inspires others to be more curious, to ask more questions, and to step outside their own intellectual and emotional comfort zones. In a world that often pressures us to have a firm opinion on everything, the librarian reminds us of the profound power and freedom that comes from embracing the beautiful, messy, and endless process of learning. In the ecosystem of the library, the librarian does not work alone. One of her most vital relationships is with the enthusiast. If the librarian is the deep, still water of a well, the enthusiast is the sparkling, energetic current of a river. He is all about breadth, passion, and action. He brings a whirlwind of new ideas, programs, and possibilities into the quiet space of the library. He wants to start a podcast, host a film festival, and create a digital archive of local stories, all at the same time. His energy is infectious, and it pushes the boundaries of what the library can be. At first glance, they might seem like an unlikely pair. Her natural pace is slow and reflective. His is fast and expressive. She finds comfort in depth and mastery. He finds joy in variety and experimentation. But their differences are precisely what make their partnership so powerful. He brings the spark, and she provides the hearth to contain it. He dreams up a dozen new community projects, and she helps him identify the one that is most needed and has the best chance of success. She grounds his boundless energy with her practical wisdom, ensuring that his passion is channeled effectively. In return, the enthusiast pulls the librarian out of her comfort zone. He challenges her to think bigger and to try new things. He reminds her that knowledge is not just meant to be stored, it is meant to be shared in dynamic and engaging ways. He encourages her to embrace new technologies and to connect with the community in ways she might not have considered on her own. He helps her see that her deep knowledge can have an even greater impact when it is presented with a little bit of showmanship and a lot of heart. He brings a lightness and a sense of play to her work. Together, they create a perfect balance. They are a living example of how different strengths can come together to create something greater than the sum of their parts. The community benefits immensely from their collaboration. They get the depth and reliability of the librarian's wisdom, combined with the excitement and innovation of the enthusiast's vision. They offer both a quiet place for reflection and a vibrant hub for community engagement. Their partnership is a testament to the idea that we need both stillness and movement, both depth and breadth, both the keeper of the flame and the one who carries the torch out into the world. Even with all her wisdom and grace, the librarian is not immune to fear. Deep within her there is a quiet, persistent whisper. It is the voice of not enough. It tells her that she doesn't know enough to help the person standing in front of her. It suggests that there is some crucial piece of information she's missing. It makes her question her own intuition. This fear is the shadow side of her great sense of responsibility. Because she cares so deeply about helping others, she is terrified of falling short, of giving the wrong advice, or of failing to provide the comfort that is needed. This fear can sometimes paralyze her. It can make her hesitate when she needs to be decisive. It can cause her to retreat into the safety of facts and figures when what is truly needed is a leap of faith. For a long time, she tried to combat this fear by learning more. She thought that if she just read one more book, took one more course, or memorized one more fact, the feeling of not enough would finally go away. But it never did. The more she learned, the more she realized how much she didn't know. The finish line just kept moving further away. The turning point came not from her mind, but from her body. After years of living in her head, she started to pay attention to the physical sensations of her fear. The tightness in her chest, the knot in her stomach. She began to practice listening to her body's other signals as well. The feeling of calm that settled over her when she was on the right track. The sense of expansion in her heart when she made a genuine connection. She slowly learned to trust these physical cues as a valid form of knowledge. She realized that her body held a wisdom that was older and deeper than any book. Learning to trust herself, especially when the voice of not enough was screaming, was an act of profound courage. It required her to embrace vulnerability and to accept that she would never have all the answers. She began to see that her job was not to be perfect, but to be present. Her value was not in her omniscience, but in her humanity. By befriending her fear and learning to trust her own instincts, she unlocked an even deeper level of wisdom. It was a wisdom that was not just intellectual, but embodied, compassionate, and brave. Another crucial relationship in the librarian's world is her partnership with the manager. If the librarian represents the yin energy of the institution, receptive, intuitive, and nurturing, the manager embodies the yang, active, logical, and structural. The manager is the one who deals with budgets, schedules, and strategic plans. She is focused on efficiency, sustainability, and making sure the entire system runs smoothly. She is the one who ensures that the beautiful sanctuary the librarian creates has a solid foundation to rest upon. Their roles are distinct, yet deeply interconnected. The collaboration is a delicate dance between heart and structure. The librarian will come to the manager with an idea rooted in community need. A new program for seniors, for example. The manager will listen carefully and then ask the practical questions. How will we fund this? Who will staff it? How will we measure its success? Her questions are not meant to dismiss the idea, but to give it shape and make it real. She builds the container that allows the librarian's compassionate vision to flourish. Without her, the best ideas might remain just dreams. Conversely, the librarian brings a vital human element to the manager's world of data and logistics. When the manager is focused on cutting costs, the librarian will gently remind her of the human impact of those decisions. She will share stories of the people who rely on the library's services, putting a face to the numbers on a spreadsheet. She ensures that the heart of the mission is never lost in the pursuit of efficiency. She softens the manager's logical edges and keeps the organization grounded in its purpose to serve the community. Together, they create a whole and balanced organization. It is a place with both a strong heart and a strong backbone. Their partnership teaches a powerful lesson about leadership. It shows that we need both empathy and strategy, both compassionate service and responsible stewardship. True and lasting success is not born from one or the other, but from the harmonious integration of both. The librarian and the manager, in their daily dance of yin and yang, demonstrate that the most resilient and effective communities are those that honor both the soul and the structure that supports it. In the end, the story of the librarian is a story about connection. It is about the profound truth that we find our purpose not in isolation, but in our relationships with others. Her wisdom is not something she hoards for herself. It is a resource she freely shares to uplift her community. Her deepest fulfillment comes from seeing someone's face light up with a new understanding, from witnessing a connection being forged between two people in a book club, or from knowing that the space she has created has offered someone a moment of peace in a difficult day. Her work is a constant act of weaving people and ideas together. This journey of service is also a journey of self-discovery. Through her interactions with the curious enthusiast and the practical manager, she learns more about her own strengths and limitations. The enthusiast teaches her to be more playful and daring. The manager teaches her to be more strategic and grounded. The patrons, with their endless variety of questions and stories, constantly expand her understanding of the human experience. She grows not by looking inward in solitude, but by engaging outward with the world in a spirit of service and curiosity. The ultimate lesson the librarian embodies is that true wisdom is not about knowing everything. It is about accepting uncertainty with grace. It is about having the courage to say, "I don't know," and the resourcefulness to say, "But I know how we can look for an answer." This approach transforms the library from a simple repository of facts into a dynamic laboratory for living. It becomes a place where people learn how to navigate the beautiful, messy, and unpredictable journey of life with a little more courage, a little more compassion, and a lot more support. Her legacy is not in the number of books on the shelves. It is in the strength of the community she has helped to build. It is in the countless individuals who, through her guidance, have learned to trust themselves, to connect with others, and to find their own answers. The librarian teaches us that we are all in our own way both librarians and patrons. We are all keepers of some unique wisdom, and we are all seekers of knowledge. We find our way not by walking alone, but by sharing our maps, our stories, and our light with one another.